Good afternoon. This class usually is given by one of the doctors and the staff, but I'm gonna start taking over. As you know, there was a slight change on how I reviewing your cases. So I just want to do this as a group. Mostly take this session mostly is going to be about answering questions that you might have right now with the treatments, more than me giving you like something like a therapy explanation or something like that. And I would like basically spend this time to answer maybe some questions that maybe many of you have, and by addressing this here, that questions will be answered, right? So any questions that you have right now for me? No questions? Really? I thought there was going to be many. Well, any questions, for example, about the treatments? Yeah.
What does the mouth halo mean?
The halo, yeah. Halo treatment, it's a bioresonance therapy that was developed, invented by a Dr. Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas was diagnosed with leukemia, severe leukemia. Actually, he didn't do too well, and he came here to have treatments with us. He got basically cured. And given the halo treatment, we decided to add it to our program. It's a combination of harmonization with botanicals. With certain, you see that there's different devices. The one that you're doing it with is the Halo Max, which is the most potent, and it's for hospital use, if you want to call it like that. And it contains different extracts, botanical extracts, right? And with the light, it will transmit those harmonizations or frequencies into the body. The formula that it has in those vials that transmits those botanicals that transmit into your body, that is specific for cancer patients. Okay, that's how Halo works. It works well in conjunction, for example, with Rife. Rife is a bioresonance treatment, and it works well with this other treatment, Beamer. All of those work with the same type of technology, right? Any other questions that you might have? Ava, how are you doing?
Good, thanks. I
Yeah?
do notice that when I use the halo this time, like on my belly, I feel like I'm getting like a sunburn. And there's certain areas where I think the lymph is, that it looks like it burns it a little bit, but I'm not getting that on my face or anywhere else I'm using it. Why would that be?
That could be because of the exposure surface that is exposed, okay? Sometimes when we expose to where the cancer area is, it might irritate a little bit, okay? Mostly because of the botanicals. When we do when we do the exposure of the halo to the mucus is less, that reaction, okay? But sometimes, like we're doing right now, it's better to expose the cancer area to the halo with the botanical extract. All right, but don't worry. It's just the light, the range of the light that is causing the irritation, but it will go away quickly.
Okay.
All right? Okay.
How often are those vials changed?
Those vials are actually the Halo company comes and they change them every 2 months or so. They change them. They say that we can use them for as long as they are there, but because of the strength and how often we use it, we change them every 2 months, and we give service to those devices every 2 months. All right? Yes.
The Halo machine, can you have it when
The Halo?
with the on program? No?
Yes, but not this one. This one, the Halo Max, is very, very expensive machine. I think each one costs like $40,000 or $50,000, something in that range. But there's an individual version that I don't remember. It looks like a hand light,
Flashlight.
like a flashlight basically, but it has, you cannot use too many vials at the same time. You can use just one at a time, because you have the light and then you have a little thing when you put the vial in there. So but it's not as expensive as the Max is. I don't
But
remember
if
the
you
exact
don't
name.
have it in your own program,
It doesn't, when I give you a home program, it doesn't mean that I don't want you to do other treatments, okay? What I try to do in the home program is try to give you the recommendations on therapies that are affordable and that will give you good results. Normally, we give you the sonodynamic, for example. We recommend the biomat, which is something useful that is not that expensive, and the far infrared heat. Sometimes we recommend Rife. We stopped recommending Rife because the machine, there's a lot of different Rife devices, as you know, in the market. And the company that we were working with, they have very delays and problems sending bad equipment. So we decided to stop doing that and not recommend it. Also, the quality of other Rives on the market is not ideal, is very low. So we prefer that you concentrate on these other therapies. But if you want to invest in a good Rive device, and we can give you can look it up on the internet and you come up with a good device, we can give you our feedback. It's okay. For example, you can continue as well with the whole body hyperthermia, the sauna, things like that. It's not that I don't want you to continue with. I just try to balance the finance with results. All right.
the right, is it that one that you can have coffee enema?
The Rife is the one that you hold the electrodes
Oh,
and
okay.
give it specific frequencies. That's the Rife.
That's the right.
You can do with or without a coffee enemas. Coffee enemas, as you know, the main effect is liver detox.
Yes.
We are using many other things to help you with detoxification, Beamer and these other IVs that we're using. If you want to do the coffee enemas, that's completely fine as well.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions that you might have about your specific situation, Francis?
Well, the Beamer, what is that?
The Beamer, it's a new device. Actually, it's German technology. All right, and it works mostly on the same biofrequency therapy. All right, that Beamer, actually, I was a little bit hesitant to start working with it here because it works like a multi-level company, but I actually saw good results with Beamer. Okay,
But do you know what's the technology behind it?
it's biofrequencies,
So it's all-
right? I don't know the exact.
I've noticed it's all magnetic coils that are
Yeah.
in there.
If you go to Google it, I'm sure they're gonna give you all the technology, details. I don't know them, to be honest with you. What I know is that in combination with the treatments that we give, particularly with blood circulation and immune stimulation, it gives good results. And I know that it works with a certain range of biofrequencies. The exact biofrequencies, I don't remember,
It
Francis.
seems to be the same for everyone. It's not a different program.
Actually, the program is the same for cancer patients. It doesn't change. Actually, they recommend to give a 2 8-minute program or 16-minute program. All right, that's how they recommend it to use. All right. Any other questions, Francis? I know that you research a lot. No, it's good. It's good, you know? Yes, sir.
So I'm wondering about the availability of the medications after we go
Yeah.
heard that there's some drugs that are illegal in Canada, for example, and
Yes.
stuff like this. So do you have a way that we can have access to somehow getting these things?
Look, yeah, well, normally we recommend patients to take home the home program with you because when you carry them with a prescription, you can carry them with no problem, okay? With B17 and with other supplements, definitely Canadian Customs will not allow you to go through it. We send them by mail. The majority of them, it's okay, and most of what we recommend, you can even buy them over there in Canada, except some of the vaccines that we give for the home program, those we cannot send. B17 we cannot send. Other than that, I think we can actually send some. Right now, we're going through a process that we are going to open up a company, a supplement company, so we fill the legal requirements so we can send you all the supplements that we produce with no problem. So hopefully that problem will be solved soon.
Within 2 weeks.
No, mostly just take as much as you can with you, particularly the things that we cannot send, and give with prescriptions. You can take everything with you. Mhm.
B17 is only in capsules?
There's the B17, but also sometimes we recommend injections.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're very painful though. Okay, B17
And
is
who's
painful.
gonna give the injection?
We can teach you actually. we can teach you. We can teach you to do it,
Okay.
or we can teach you to do it, or we can. No, the thing is that, or somebody, a nurse or a friend that knows how to give injections, but it does hurt. That's why we normally don't recommend the P17 injection unless you have a way of doing intravenously. That will be the ideal
Yeah.
way of continue with it.
I do have people that could give you
Yeah.
intravenously, but how can you get the liquid
Liquid.
form?
No problem. That we can sell you. There's also, if you go to Google, and we can give you the lab name. The lab name is Cytopharma. Actually, you know the story of B17, right? Or maybe, I don't know if you know. B17 was developed actually here in Tijuana by some doctors, and it was developed like in the 70s. Actually, that's one of the treatments that, I don't know if you remember an actor, Steve McQueen.
Yes, of
Well,
course.
yeah, everything started, he came to a clinic and there was a lot of problems, but he came back then to have treatment here for his cancer. And then they separately, they started developing this B17 medication. Actually, it showed that it works, but it went into a lot of legal issues to the point that it was banned in the US. Right now, you can use it if you are personally wanting to use it with a doctor prescription. We can prescribe that to you, and you can use it. There's one laboratory that is producing it since then, and is the one that we work with. So the P17 that we use is the original one. There's many laboratories in other places in the world that are using it. But I tried some other ones, but definitely the original is the best one.
What's the name again?
Cytopharma.
Cito.
I can give you the name, no problem.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Huh?
Why did they ban it?
As far as I see it, these legalities in the pharma, I think, because it works. We tried here for a long time, and in combination with the rest of the treatments, and it worked. The real why exactly, I don't know. I just know that I think it was because there was some toxicity in relation with B17, particularly cyanide. It's very small, the amount, and obviously, like with everything else, you need to use it with the correct dose, right? It's like the same with everything else, with any other medication. So, but this is particularly effective against cancer and is non-toxic. But I think they ban it because that toxicity part of it. Mm-hmm.
How
feel about the apricot kernels for the
The
B17?
apricot kernels, a lot of patients come here taking apricot kernels. And they are actually is based on what I'm telling you about the B17, but actually the amount of B17 that one kernel will contain is really, really small amount.
So intravenously, you're getting much more.
Well, I was talking with a lab the other day, and they use like 1,000 kernels to get, I think, one tablet. So you can imagine the small amount of that is the huge amount of kernels that is needed to produce a bottle of tablets, right? Yes. I thought you were saying something like that.
So the tablets B17 is not assimilated the same way as the injection.
No. Obviously, it's always better to do it, to take it intravenously. There's the absorption in the gastrointestinal tract is not as much. And more the way we do it here, Francis, like we do the DPT or we give you the MSO, that will increase like in around 70% the absorption rate.
So what's the DMSO tablet?
Dimethyl sulfoxide. Dimethyl sulfoxide, and that's been around for a long time. And the MSO has two very particular properties. One of them is that it's a very potent anti-inflammatory. It has anti-cancer effects by itself, but also it's an excellent carrier to cancer areas. So the MSO actually will carry and the B17 to the cancer areas. That's why we use it like that here.
And
All right.
That we cannot have in the States, correct?
No, because you do need medical, medical training to do that. Yes. Anything else?
So
No?
you can't get the DMSO.
Look, we can prescribe it to you, but with the strict indication that you need some type of medical nurse or somebody that is trained to give it to you, because it can cause side effects. All right? Yes. Yes, Jan.
About your chemo treatment here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about
Yeah, there is two modalities of low-dose chemo treatments that we do here. Well, it's called the IPT and the DPT, right? We do mostly DPT, the DMSO potentiation therapy, because it's effective and it has less side effects. IPT, or the insulin potentiation treatment, it's a therapy where we need to lower your glucose to around 40 milligrams per deciliter. So we need to cause a severe hypoglycemia. With that hypoglycemia, we open the cancer glucose receptors in the cancer cells open, right? And in IPT, we have already a glucose solution with either high doses of B17 or low doses of chemo treatments. So we give you that medication, and then the cancer cell will ingest the glucose along with the medication. The problem with that is that sometimes in situations where the patient is weak or metabolically compromised, to cause a hypoglycemia so severe is dangerous. That's why we prefer to do the DPT on first, because DPT, the DMSO will carry that medication. The DMSO itself will have anti-cancer effects, and it's an excellent carrier, and it will penetrate into the cancer cell. So that's why we prefer to do it DPT. Either we use high doses of B17 like you're doing, or sometimes we use low dose chemo treatments. Mm-hmm. All right. See?
We still have like 5 minutes. If
Yeah.
anyone has one.
Yes. Any other questions that you have? Any other questions that you have about the treatments that you're doing, or the IVs, for example?
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you decide which IVs they use?
We have already a program set up, okay? by experience, I know after doing this for so many years, 20 plus years, I know exactly what it works more in a general basis, right? For example, the first week here, you have salinomycin and vitamin D. Salinomycin, it's an IV that is used to destroy cancer stem cells. That was originally developed as an antibiotic, actually, okay? But it was found to be having very specifically affinity to destroy cancer stem cells. And that's a problem, because if you destroy cancer but you don't destroy the cancer stem cells, the possibility of cancer recurrence it's high. And normally also we start giving you vitamin D intravenous here, because in a chronic inflammatory process, like, well, the majority of the patients that come here come already in stage 2 or higher, it's a very severe chronic inflammatory process. Vitamin D levels go really low. Vitamin D levels go really low, and vitamin D is very important for you to have a good immune response against the cancer. That's why we start with that. Then we move on to sodium bicarbonate, hydrogen peroxide. We use vitamin C with K3. We use sodium bicarbonate. Sometimes we use curcumin. Depending on how we're seeing you, your treating physician, myself, Dr. Alvarez, that's how we are recommending the different IVs. Okay, depending also on the cancer sometimes chelation for detox. But with chelation we need to be careful with the kidney function, for example. So there's different factors that we are taking into account when we're doing the IV program. Mm-hmm.
We get injections, or we get IVs with stem cells in them.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And is that I know the United States has some stem cells therapy, but not, I don't think, very extensive stem cell.
No, you probably, yeah. Go ahead, sorry. Sorry, David.
Is that correct? Because I mean, I have heard of it there, but I mean, it's not, I asked my doctor before I left there,
Mm-hmm.
about stem cells, because I had heard stem cells, and he wasn't very, he was kind of, no, that's, we don't do that. Or,
Yeah, well,
but
that's...
But I've heard of like UCLA experimenting with it and stuff. So.
Yeah, definitely. Well, remember that what we try to do here, David, is immunotherapy, right? Ways to stimulate your immune system to attack cancer. Stem cells, the stem cells that we use from autologous, from your own body, we stimulate with something called interleukin type 2, right? That cytokine will give the proper stimulation for those stem cells to turn into immune cells and attack the cancer, okay? What you're referring, and mostly conventionally what they're using this, for example, is the CAR T cell therapy, but that's mostly used in lymphomas and things like that. It's a different process though, all right? So we try to cover all the angles of an immune response against cancer. David, right now, like your experience, we're using macrophage activating factors, which is one of the newest things, the GCMAF. We're using a viral vector vaccine, right? That is the Newcastle vaccine. In that, the virus will infect the cancer cell, and the immune system going after the virus will destroy the cancer cell in the process, okay? We're doing also, well, the GCMAF, the macrophage activating factors as well. Macrophages are the part of your immune system that turns into killer cells. And that's a new, actually this came out probably a year ago. It's probably only available here, clinically. It's being used and promoted, but we've been using it now for a couple of years with very good results. Regarding stem cells, it's just trying to cover another part of your immune system to attack cancer, David.
So it seems to me like the United States has very good medicine in a lot of things, but it seems to me from what I'm seeing, they don't do a very good job with cancer. So is, you know, and I'm not making derogatory or not, I'm just asking a question. So is doctors in the United States, as far as I know, are not practicing
That's
these-
correct, David. It's very unfortunate because many of the treatments that you're doing here are used in many other countries, okay? That they're not used in the US, it doesn't mean that they don't work. They do work. And I'm not against here at ITC, we're not against, you know, using chemo or radiation or whatever if it was helpful, right? But unfortunately, my personal experience has been that likely those treatments make things worse instead of making them better. And actually, statistically,
That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
The insurance don't wanna pay for it, that's the problem.
statistically, it's well known that patients die mostly as consequence of the treatment than from the disease itself, right? So that's why after my personal experience, you know, that maybe some of you know, but maybe some of you don't. My father was diagnosed with lung cancer, and I already was in this field, but that got me the strong stimulation to really find out what works, because, well, my father was a strong man, and probably in 3 months it went from being a strong man to nothing because of the chemo and radiation. And that's why I realized that there must be some other type of options. That's when I started, you know, researching. It's not easy, right? You go to different parts of the world, they're doing all these different treatments. I tried to put together this program based on that experience. I did work for other alternative hospitals, medicine hospitals, and the treatment that you're receiving is the experience that I got from trying I don't know how many treatments with how many different doctors. So you're getting the best of the best, and unfortunately some of the treatments that we do here are not FDA approved, but like many of you, like you came in a really bad situation, David, if you remember, and thank God you're doing better right now. And like that, thank God we always try to find a way of making things better. We do lose some battles, we don't like it, but we sometimes, unfortunately, we do everything we can, but sometimes we cannot be of help, and we face that, and we realize that. But in the 95% of the cases, patients get better and over their cancer, David. And yeah, thank you.
So you're saying in 95% of the cases that the patients go in remission?
No. It's very
I don't
different.
understand.
They get better. Each statistic on each cancer, David, is different for each cancer. I'm telling you just a number in a very general term, that in 95% of the patients that come here, they get better, at least in their quality of life and in their quantity of life. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Then probably later I can prepare another talk with more details, numbers on each cancer, you know, that I can tell you exactly what the response rate is. Now, you have to understand that we're in an alternative medicine hospital, and that we don't have the numbers, you know, to statistically be accurate. Like a double-blind placebo studies, we don't have those kind of numbers, but I gladly share with you the good numbers that we have with very, very severe cases. All right. Okay, well, I'm going to try to have these talks with you on a weekly basis, you know, trying to see you as a group and to come up with answering questions and explanations. And so if you prepare your questions, for example, for next week, and you tell other patients, so we'll have this time to interact. All right?
Thanks again.
All right. I'll see you later, okay? All right.